Yeah, Lamar, nice to see you again. Uh, how much do these guys lean on your history, having already been here, with the players coming back, and maybe just where to eat, where to go on campus, things of that sort.
I'm assuming you're referring to the coaching staff.
Yes.
Um, uh, I'll get a question or two a day. When everyone first got here, they'd ask me, more, but they've slowly gotten acclimated. Um, so I get that from time to time, just the familiarity with the players who are returning, and then just with, just the, um, you know, campus, Indiana, just a little, like just the general landscape. And even just some small questions about, what the Big Ten is today versus what it was several years ago, because obviously it's changed quite a bit.
Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, Lamar, just can you talk a little bit about the process of deciding to come back and the conversations that you had with Barry that led to your return?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it wasn't real hard for me. My personal goal was to be here, you know. And ultimately, me and Coach Odom didn't have. It really wasn't a whole lot to say. He wanted to get to know me a little bit, and I told him what my preference was and what this place meant to me. There it is. Apologize. um, what this place meant to me, and how I think I could um, help and impact the change that's needed. And we felt like we were aligned in that. And he took a couple days to think on it and thought I was a good fit for what he wants to accomplish here. Obviously, for me, it's a no-brainer. Having a chance to coach at your alma mater and embrace the past, but also focused on the future and get this place to where we all believe it can be. It's good trouble if that makes sense. Let's get to work and get to grinding and believe ultimately. So it was a pretty straightforward conversation.
Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Lamar. Obviously, we know who your top running back returning is, but you guys are going to need more than one to do this. Just wanted to get an update on Jaheim Merriweather and where he's come in the past year, and where you think he's at right now, and what you're expecting.
Yeah. Well, I expect big things from Jaheim. The biggest thing with the physical traits are unbelievable. He has the tools. Really, the ball's in his court to do things the way we want him to do it and do them that way every time and be consistent, on and off the field. When we go play football, he's going to show up. He's already shown progress in the weight room. Now we just got to get him to be more consistent, in the classroom, off the field, all that stuff. And he's made major improvements, but what was expected in the past is completely what's expected for different from what's expected right now. What Coach Odom expects. And so it's just continue to raise the bar and get him to do the things we need him to do. But I have no worries about him getting there. So
Go to Tom.
Yeah, Coach, tell us about Malachi Thomas and what he's going to bring to the squad.
Ultimately, Malachi is a brilliant young man. So that the first thing is just football IQ. He understands the game. He's played 4 years of high level competition. Very much in that world of the Reggie Love or the Tyrone Tracy. They're experienced football players. And Malachi has us. He's tough as nails. He's a consistent performer. My job is to try to get the absolute maximum out of him, and really, really tap into that last 10% of his talent. And I think he has that in him. I've already got to spend quite a bit of time with him, particularly in the classroom and just talking football, just general football, and the things that we think can help him get better, and just some of the things that my approach in terms of everyday discipline and toughness and, hey, man, you got to do the hard stuff. You play tailback in the Big Ten, you got to do hard stuff. You got to take the 2 to 3 yard gain and it'll eventually turn into 5 or 6 or 10. So, and then you're just maturity. I think that he came here with the thought that he has room to improve and he can impact this team and he can impact this offense. I was very clear with him. Like you're not coming here to be a second fiddle to anybody, right? I'm very open with all the guys. Like if you come in here and you win the job, that's good news for us, right? So come in here and challenge Maccabee. Come in here and challenge Jaheim. So I feel good about him. He is all of 6 foot and all of 215, 220 pounds, and he carries it well. So
Back to Sam.
Yeah, Lamar, you mentioned selling yourself to Coach Odom. A lot of these guys have experience working with him. Kind of what's your vibe with what the new head coach is bringing in and the staff, and how it all works together as far as continuity?
yeah, well, really, I didn't have to sell myself. Ultimately, he made the decision based off of what he saw in film and the folks he talked to, and it was more, are we aligned? What does he bring? Toughness, discipline, accountability. We're talking about the detailed things that us as Boilers know that we missed out on. We weren't as detailed as we needed to be, as disciplined as we needed to be. And in this league, you have to be. Those things win you ball games. So that's what he brings, right? He's going to hold you accountable. Everybody in the building is held to the standard. And it's your job to adjust to the standard. And if you don't, good luck to you, which I think is a good thing, right? A little bit of pressure really will show your positive and negatives. And you've got to get to work on those negatives, right? And usually they're not bad things. You just got to embrace them and get to work on improving them. And then obviously the things that you do well, just keep on getting better. So it's a good change, right? But it's toughness. He's a tough cookie. He expects a lot, and particularly the discipline and accountability standpoint. I think that's a good thing for us.
I want to ask you, people have asked about other individual running backs, but with Mock specifically, loyalty goes a long way, especially in today's world where he probably could have gone somewhere and it could have financially benefited him. But just his loyalty to Purdue and wanting to come in here and do some things with this program and really go out on a high note. How special of a kid is he more than anything? And what has he done to maybe elevate Purdue in his final season?
I mean, he wants the baton, right? He wants to finish the race, be the anchor. He loves this place. I think we all know. Again, we all know this as Purdue fans and loyal Purdue people. He just believes in football in a more traditional way. Like he didn't go to college to go pat his pockets, so to speak. He came here to get an education. The kid's getting an engineering degree. He understands the impact that will have on him for the next 40, 50 years of his life. Did he want to be compensated? Yes. And he got compensated fairly. But the most important thing for him was to lead Purdue football into the next phase of its future. And are those kids harder to come by today? Yes. Harder to come by, and your star players? Yes. But his focus has always been in the right place. Like he loves this place, right? It's more than just football. And you need those guys in order to be able to change the culture. Set the example, set the bar for what Purdue can be, and that's ultimately is the goal. He's just a great kid. He was raised right by his parents. He wants to be coached, and he felt like that Purdue, and obviously my relationship to him gives him the best opportunity to have a chance to play in the National Football League versus going and starting from scratch again. With a new coach, new head coach, new position coach, new system. As many things that he could control, he chose to control. And, he's in a really good place right now. So I'm happy he's here.
Back to Nathan.
I just want to follow up on the answer you gave me earlier, and I guess it's kind of a follow-up to what you said to Sam, too. I'm just curious, what are some specific ways where you feel like Barry has raised expectations in those ways that you were talking about, as far as I guess just how guys are operating day to day?
Yeah, well, I don't want to go into like the past, like, hey, previous staff versus this staff, but Barry just has a very simple mantra. I'm going to hold you accountable for everything you do every day. Do your job, right? And that can scare people, especially today. Kids can leave, right? But right now, he's trying to get the culture the way he wants it, and the standard is the standard. And if we adjust the standard from day to day, like, hey, the expectation is you go to class every single day, you turn in your work every day, right? You're responsible for that. There's no miss. You're choosing to miss, right? You're just setting the standard, and that's his approach. which I totally respect, right? I get it. If you want to be a disciplined program, if you say you're going to be a disciplined program, you got to be disciplined in all facets of the program. So I think it's just bringing toughness and setting the tone, and not just for now, but for the near future, for the long-term future, for future Boilermakers, for the guys who are here now, for the guys who've already graduated and want to come back. That there is an expectation here to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, and do it that way every time, full stop. So it's when you come off the season we came off of, and it appears that there's a lot of things that get fixed, the first thing that you got to put your foot down on is, hey, let's be accountable to each other and get things done the right way, and that's pretty straightforward answer.